Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Our dogs are wishing you a happy Sunday as well. They've been perfectly quiet all morning, and the minute I hit go live, they started barking. So I guess they want to say hi to you. I would want to say hi to you. I am saying hi to you. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are. May it be good. And may this day bring you sunshine and release, because that's what we're going to talk about today, is letting go of what doesn't suit us, doesn't fit the magnitude of our soul, and releasing anything that is holding us back from being all that we were meant to be. What a great idea. Good morning, Dana. Good morning. Good morning. See, I'm still doing it. I will probably do it forever. Or not, as the case may be. Hello, Dana. Happy Sunday. Hello, Lainey. Happy Sunday. Hello, Jennifer. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to everyone. It's an interesting day here today. It started out kind of overcast, and now it looks like the sun is trying to break through. I consider that a sign. Don't you? I consider that a sign that something wonderful and warming and powerful and life-affirming is breaking through the clouds, breaking through the confusion, breaking through the frustration, breaking through whatever it needs to break through so that it gets to us, so that it really gives us its message and does its work in each of our lives. Hello, Jefferson. Glad you are here. And Happy New Year to you. Boy, it's going to be too, isn't it? Hello, Jennifer. I love it. Kirk is off releasing his Christmas gift money. Releasing it. What a lovely thought. I can't wait to see what he releases it on. Good Sunday, Heidi. And it is a good Sunday. I'm with all of you, and it doesn't get any better than that. Hello, Ginger. Yes, darling, it's going to be a very good 2021 because we've used up all of the frustration and all that didn't serve us. And we're going to leave any of that we are still holding on to behind us this morning and move triumphantly and powerfully and gladly into the bright new year that awaits us. Don't you love that idea? I love that idea. Yeah, it's going to be a very good year. We're still here, and so we have much to celebrate and much to, probably much to release, but we'll do that this morning and get rid of it and then just move powerfully forward. Heidi, you are naughty. Burn, baby, burn. You betcha, darling. You betcha. We're going to do that. I hope all of you have gathered up your materials. If not, you have time to do that. I will mention it again. But you will need a bowl of some sort, a container, fireproof container of some sort. And if you have flash paper, fabulous. But if not, just any lightweight paper. You don't want to use cardstock. Okay? Something lightweight. Tissue paper works really well. Even copy paper works well, but use the lightweight stuff. It won't be as dramatic as flash paper, but it doesn't need to be, does it? And let's see, what else will you need? Something to light it with. I've got my handy dandy little electrolyter here. I like this because it allows me some space between me and the flame rather than holding a little match. But a match will work provided you are dexterous enough to handle that. You don't want to get too close to flash paper. take it from the woman who has singed her eyebrows and eyelashes in the past. The stuff goes very quickly. So this kind of a lighter, or even the longer one, is even better. Have some water nearby, just in case. Or a fire extinguisher. Kat brought the fire extinguisher up this morning just in case I get out of control. And actually wanted me to have it sitting in the background because she thought that might be amusing and a good reminder. However, there's not a lot of room in back of me, so we're not, just take my word for it, there's one right over there and I can reach it. Better yet, Kat can reach it and turn it on me if necessary.
Which could be fun.
Which could be fun, which she might do. So, pen or a pencil, something to write on your paper with. Um, a bowl, some water to put out a fire just in case, and something to start the fire with, a lighter of some sort. And be thinking about what you want to release, what you want to leave in 2020 and not take with you into 2021. Okay? I have a whole list of things. Yeah, Jefferson, I tend to agree with you. He says releasing 2020 will be one of the easiest releasing exercises. You betcha, sweetheart. I don't think anybody wants to hold on to it. Powder should work. Heidi, I would just say, put a little tissue paper or something to write on so that you can write. You'll be able to handle it from there. You're smart. You'll figure that out. Tina, naughty. We are not setting any of the cats on fire. We are not. That would be a very naughty thing to do. And we don't allow them in the room when we're doing fire either. They are locked out for the time being, just in case they decide that it'd be a great moment to jump on the desk, which God knows they have been known to do. Okay? So, here we are. It is the end of 2020. Whew. We made it. And the world will bring some of 2020 into 2021. It's not like you rip off a calendar page and suddenly everything's gone. But you don't need to. We can take with us the good of the year. And I'd like you to take a minute to think about that. What blessings, what gifts have you received this year? Just you personally. You don't need to post it, although you can if you want to. What good has come of this year? What have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about your world? What triumphs have been part of your life? What gifts have you received in 2020? It can't have been all bad. You're still here. So I know it can't have been all bad. And yet, we don't too often stop. The bad hits us so hard sometimes because it tends to come out of left field or it just seems so big and so anti what we thought was going to happen that it makes an impression on us. And the good just kind of flows over us, and sometimes we don't notice that as much. So I do invite you to spend a little time thinking about the gifts of this year, thinking about what you do want to take with you into 2021, thinking about your blessings and what that means to you and your life and to your world, and how you maybe will be able to share those blessings with others and let them see that nothing is either all good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And if we think of 2020 as being only a bad year, then it becomes that for us. So let's let our thinking concentrate for just a moment on the good and the true and the beautiful that has come out of 2020, and that we will take with us into 2021, while leaving behind those things that perhaps have been not so good and not so pleasant and harder to deal with. Okay? Okay. Okay. So, let me begin. And we will see what comes of all of this, shall we? It's that time of year when Unity churches in particular, and many other metaphysical organizations, acknowledge the changing of the year with a burning bowl ritual. I love the ceremony. And it's my experience that rituals which are honored and believed in can make a significant difference in each of our lives. Now I'm going to repeat all of this just in case I've left anything out. So in order to fully participate in the ceremony, you're going to need a few things. A fireproof bowl, some lightweight paper or flash paper, a pen or pencil, and ideally, just in case, some water or a fire extinguisher. This is a burning bowl ceremony after all, and there will be fire involved. So be safe. Just be safe. Don't take any chances. We don't want you to take scars or singed hair into 2021. Now, before we get to the ritual, I'd like you to spend a little time considering what you really are willing to release. What you are willing to not just let go of for now, but what you are willing to make a commitment not to drag into the new year. I quoted at length Dennis Merritt Jones, a religious science minister, last Wednesday, and it seems I'm about to do that again. He is, I believe, one of New Thought's best writers in the current era, and frankly, I'm thrilled to be able to share his words with you. Dennis had sent out an email to his congregation reminding them of the Burning Bowl ceremony the last Sunday of the year. And he tells the story that one year, one of the members of his congregation told him that they had misread his email announcement about the December ritual and thought that it was a burning bull ceremony. And maybe, he said, the ritual really is about burning the bull, about getting rid of all the excuses for recreating this same old again and again. Especially if it's not what you really want and not what honors the life you are here to live. Dennis, like many New Thought ministers, quotes Einstein defining insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That was actually quoted on Ozark some episodes ago. That one gets around. It's easy to find the no bull factor in Einstein's statement, isn't it? And can't we all relate to the wisdom of those words? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Dennis goes on to say there is a self knowing, or perhaps better said, a knowing self within us that is always calling us to the higher ground of our being. And it whispers very quietly, it's time to create something new in your life. You know, I don't know that I've ever met someone who wasn't ready on some level for something new in their life. And I've watched some of those same people do the same things and think the same way and say the same words and expect that somehow magically things are going to change. They won't. They never do. It takes commitment. It takes a dedication to change for change to actually occur. Dennis writes, that very same self-knowing, when truly listened to, also affirms that we have an active role to play in making desired changes in our lives. Changes that will last. The challenge is that it is often difficult to find the resolve to take the proper action. It's as if there is a silent battle going on between the reactive mind, which has a burning desire for instant gratification, and our inner wisdom that understands the rewards of delayed gratification. I believe, writes Dennis, that the universe operates solely on the principle or law of cause and effect. If we desire a different result, a different effect in some specific area of our lives, we know we have to introduce a new intention, a new cause. Lasting change we desire has to be deeply embodied in consciousness, in our belief system, before it happens in our outer lives. Too often, I believe, we argue for our own limitations. I'm too old to change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Sure you can. But you have to really want to, and you have to be willing to do the work involved. It's never too late, in Dennis's words, to inscribe new beliefs about ourselves on the interior walls of our mind. But we have to be open to releasing old beliefs. In the words of Ernest Holmes, life is a blackboard upon which we consciously or unconsciously write those messages which govern us. We hold the chalk and the eraser in our hand, but we're ignorant of this fact. What we now experience, we need not continue to experience. But the hand which holds the eraser must do its neutralizing work. Okay, so there are times when I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. But I love the choir. Because for the most part, you are the ones who are really consciously working on your lives. And none of this is a newsflash to any person who is consciously working on waking up and living mindfully. But, according to Dennis, and I couldn't agree more, a little reminder at this time of year can't hurt, because we do tend to go unconscious, don't we, from time to time, especially if things have been challenging. And I think we can all agree that this year has been challenging. More for some, yes, definitely more for some than for others, but for everyone at some level. And because of that, we have all thought things and said things and done things and suffered things that we just as soon forget. But there's good news. Dennis writes, we don't have to be an Einstein to introduce a new cause into our lives. We only need to be awake and open for change. If we make space for the wisdom within us to show us the way, it will lead us to the next step. It will. Ours is to trust the process by taking the appropriate action in faith. So here's a question for you from both Dennis and me. Where in your life are you doing or thinking or being the same repeatedly? Or where are you experiencing the same effects year after year and still hoping things will one day magically change? Having asked the question, Dennis reminds us that it's equally important to remember that not everything we may need to release before we enter a new year with a peaceful heart has to have a negative connotation. It's a good point. See, in all of our lives, there comes a time when we must even be willing to let go of the good memories of people, events, and things from the past if clinging to those memories causes us to remain stuck there, stopping us from moving forward and creating a new idea for life today. Here's the point, says Dennis. Regardless of what those thoughts and ideas may be, make a decision to do what you need to do to take a proactive step toward initiating the changes your soul desires to make in your life. All around us, especially this time of year, things are changing. The trees are changing, the calendar changes, the world changes. We change because we must. The calendar tells us that we are leaving this year behind and entering upon a new year. Will it be that for you? Will it be the new year in which your dreams come true? The year in which you accomplish your highest goals and deepest aspirations? It can be that. Oh, it can be that. And more. And I believe that the universe, God's universe, your universe, conspires to nudge us, to push us in the right direction. And that signs of it are all around us if we just pay attention. They come like little postcards from paradise. They may not float out of the sky and land on the desk in front of us, but they do show up in some interesting places. I read the daily word from Unity every morning. It starts my day off right. And Tipsy seems to enjoy having it read to him, so I share it with him, and I'd like to share the daily word for today with you. It is this. My experiences of this past year have brought me gifts of insight, new perspectives, many chances to grow and stretch myself, and perhaps the opportunity to develop a skill that serves me in my work or brings greater enjoyment to my leisure time. Some experiences have been painful or difficult. These too have offered their gifts. I accept all that has come my way. With gratitude, I bless it all. I find the gifts and release what no longer serves my growth. Assured that God is my dependable source, I release any pain of a financial setback. In the joy of restored health, I release any memory of illness. Grateful for all modes of connection, I I release any pain of loneliness. I move forward, feeling lighter, cleansed, and renewed for my journey. The Bible quote that accompanies that is from Isaiah. Do not remember the former things, or consider the things of old. A great message. Perfect for today. And in addition to the Daily Word, I subscribe to a system that sends out tarot card readings every morning. If I like what it says, I believe it. If I don't, I ignore it. Usually, it rings a bell. So I received a card some time ago that seemed just too perfect for today's message. It said this: has been coming your way for a while now. And today you may see the first explicit features of it. What happens today is only a beginning. And you may look back in a few days, weeks, months, and recognize that your life is in the process of making a turn for the better. It's the nature of life not to stay the same. And you are being moved forward now. We can let that be true. You know, Ernest Holmes said much the same thing. You've heard me quote it before. He wrote, "Nature will not let us stay in any one place for too long. She will let us stay just long enough to gather the experience necessary to the unfolding and advancement of the soul." Then he adds, "This is a wise provision. For should we stay there too long, we would become too set, too rigid, too inflexible. Nature demands change in order that we may advance." Most of us resist change, largely because we fear it, but also because change, real meaningful change in our lives, is never easy, because it almost always requires that we let go of something. We make so many excuses for not letting go of what doesn't serve us. We tell ourselves, "I can't change. This is just the way I am. I've been this way for too long, and I've tried before, and I can't change." And well, you know. But see, it's not true. It's never been true. The way you are now may be the way you have been for a long time, but it's not the real person you are. You are so much more. And you know it. You may not know it consciously all the time, but in your heart of hearts, in your soul, you know that you are more, that you are greater, that you are kinder, more loving, more wise, healthier, more prosperous, and most particularly, more divine than you have ever acknowledged. You are, you know. But there are thoughts, there are ideas and beliefs that occlude your clarity, the way the clouds occlude the sunshine. And you must let them go if you are to become what you are actually here to be. It's a powerful thing to let things go, to release what isn't working and be new. It's a powerful process. Letting go of the past and moving into the now with a new start. What do you want changed in your life? It's entirely up to you. You must do the work, especially the mental work. And nothing will happen unless you truly want it to. It all starts with you making a decision that you want something to change, that you want to change. Then you doing what needs to be done for the change to occur. So, what do you want to throw out of your life? What do you want cleansed? What do you want to give up, to donate back to the universe? Or as Holmes said, to send it back to the nothingness from which it came? Are you facing a health challenge? Is it physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual? What do you need to release or give up? What do you want gone from your life? Are you stuck in a relationship that's only harming you and perhaps the other person as well? What do you want to be different in your living environment? Less conflict and friction, less noise, less clutter? Do you have money worries? You have the power, you have the responsibility to make better choices if you want to live a happier life. Now, as this tired old year runs out, we must move on. Forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth, let us press on toward the mark. It has been a year. An interesting year, in the way that changes all that has come before and all that will come after. What do you want to keep? What lessons, what memories are good and worth holding on to? And what do you want to release? What in you do you want to become you? And what do you choose to let go? Only you can decide. Oh, wise minds could tell you what would be best for you, but, they don't really know. You do. That wise soul within you knows very clearly. Take a moment and listen to it. And bring out your paper now. If you have flash paper, great, it's dramatic. Otherwise, any lightweight paper will do. Just make sure you're fire safe. Have water or an extinguisher close by. Now, cut or tear off a small piece of paper. It doesn't need to be big, just large enough to hold the words that make it clear what you are releasing. Then write those words on the paper. Frankly, the more concise, the better. This is not the time to tell the story. Chances are you have already done that often enough. We are not here for storytelling. we are here for releasing. Just a few words. I release what? Take a moment and write that on your paper now. What will you let go? What are you courageous enough to release? The burning bowl ceremony is all about change. Change and taking personal responsibility for your life. The ceremony creates real change in your mind, in your brain. It literally helps to build new neural pathways in the brain. It cuts across the old neural pathways that have formed as a result of repetitive negative thought forms and unhealthy mental habits. It gives you a truer, a greater new beginning, a more real new beginning than turning the pages of a calendar ever could. Take a few moments now and, holding the paper in your hand, envision what your life can be like without this that you have held, this that you are about to release. And when you have a good picture in your mind of your life without this in it, just place the paper in the bowl. Don't light it yet. Know that you will be committing your concern to the transformative power of the flame. But not just yet. Let us begin our new beginning with a quote from Norman Vincent Peale that bears repeating often. There is a spiritual giant within you, which is always struggling to burst its way out of the prison you have made for it. That spiritual giant is a power, a potentiality. This power can remake you, whether you choose to call it God or spirit or life. There is an almighty power and presence that is capable always of making all things new. That power can recreate each one of us and fill us with new life. It can transform our whole world. You have placed your paper in the bowl. Feel the sense of power growing in you, simply having first made the choice to let go. Say to yourself, I'm free. With this act, I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. Or say, I now move on. The past is gone forever. Or perhaps in the case of forgiveness, say to yourself, I fully and freely forgive this person. And say their name. I loose him or her and let them go. He or she is free now. And I am free too. If later the thought of the matter or person returns, just acknowledge it, but dismiss it. Give it no power over you. You know, the thought will return less and less often until one day you realize you had forgotten all about it. Paul wrote, "Be ye transformed," you know it, "by the renewing of your mind." This is what the burning bowl ceremony is all about. Transformation and renewal. It all begins in the mind. Hear the words in your head. Now hear them in your heart. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now. Right now. And when you are ready, carefully light your paper. And know that as surely as the paper is being demolished in the flame, so too this that you have released is demolished in the flame of your passion and commitment to your new life. To give beyond reason, to care beyond hope, to love without limit, to reach, stretch, and dream in spite of your fears. These are the hallmarks of divinity. These are the traits of godliness. A new year begins in just a few days. A new life begins now. Change has been coming your way for a while now. And today you may see the first explicit features of it. What happens today is only a beginning. And you may look back in a few days or weeks or months and recognize that your life is in the process of making a turn for the better. It's the nature of life not to stay the same. And you are moving forward now. May your life be blessed with all the dreams you hold for it. May it be sustained by all the prayers you pray for it. And may it be all that you envision. And so very much more. I don't know how much more I could say beyond all of that. I'm reading your comments. It's been a year. And certainly one of my greatest blessings and gifts in this crazy year has been you. Each of you. Every one of you. In a year filled with unexpected happenings and confusion and chaos on so many levels, this has been the one stable, good, life enriching, positive thing. And I am so very grateful for all of you. Yes, Dana, it is well with my soul as well, thanks to all of you. And your prayers and your love. And your presence, that's ENCE. So we go on. We take the good with us powerfully, and we move on. We take what works with us, and we move on. Show you my shirt. Powered by prayer, we move on. Powered by faith and belief in the good and the true and the beautiful and not the appearances. I trust that this ceremony today has moved you. I know it has moved me. In consciousness and in fact into a new and powerful place wherein we can all remember that it is not the circumstances at any given moment in our lives that contain the power, but rather the power within us that does. I'd like to take just a moment and pray with you one more time. And of course, there'll be Wednesday. But one more Sunday, where we simply know that in each of our lives, in every single moment, all that there is God. We are so truly never, ever alone. Always, within, around, and about us, there is presence, power. Spirit. And we are that because there is nothing else to be. We are not all of it, but all that we are is that. God going forth anew into creation, into life, into evolution, into newness, and into this new year. In and through and as each and every one of us. And we have the responsibility to act accordingly. to be creative, to be loving, to be kind, to be understanding, to be wise. To be all that we expect God to be in us, as us, through us. And so, with great faith and full hearts, we know that today we have let go of anything that stands in the way of our perfect expression of the Spirit within us. And we move powerfully, lovingly, gracefully, faithfully into this new year and this new beginning, taking with us all that is good and leaving behind any misconceptions. We know who we are. We know what we are. And we let that be so. And so it is. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I love you. And I'll be here Wednesday. Come join me. Bring friends. Thank you for being the expression of God that you are, and all that that means in each of our lives and to the world.